So this video here is for everyone that belongs to Prince George motorcycle owners, and this one here is for, we ran into this the other day. We were out in the country, we were out in the rural areas, and we came across a big piece of heavy machinery. It was actually a big combine that they were doing for haying season. So I thought I'd do this video up so everyone kind of had a better idea of how we were going to pass. So in Prince George motorcycle owners, we never race or go past the speed limit and so forth. We're very careful and courteous riders. So we never pass anybody that's going faster than us because we never catch up to them. But anyway, make a long story short, if we run into some traffic where they're actually going a little bit slower than us and we need to get past them, whether it be an overloaded logging truck or a chip truck going up a hill or a piece of heavy machinery like we did the other day, a combine out in the country, this is how we pass. So generally what will happen is out in the country, here's a 2-lane right here, okay? And out in the country, out in the rural areas, lots of times the lanes are a little bit narrower than they are on the highway. Like, if we were going up Peden Hill trying to get past a chip truck, we have a lot more room. Plus, they have nice big shoulders, right? But out in the country, sometimes the shoulder just turns into gravel. And these big machines and stuff, they will not go off the road and into the shoulder because, they're concerned with their machine ending up in the ditch, which is rightfully so. We wouldn't ride our motorbikes in there either. So what we've got is we've got a big combine here who's seen us in his rearview mirror, and he's pulled over slightly. Now he can only pull over so far, right, because of that gravel shoulder there that he's concerned about. So again, the lead rider is always riding a lot closer to the center line, whereas the rest of the bikes are all staggered in a proper, staggered position. And so the lead rider, he'll keep an eye out up here. Now generally the lead rider is me, Stuart Antonenko, and what I will do as the lead rider is I will try to, in this particular instance we have 7 bikes, but let's say we had 14 or even 16 bikes. I have to keep into consideration how I'm going to get all those bikes past this machine in one pass. So what I'll do is I'll always watch out in the rural areas. It's kind of nice because quite often there's not a lot of oncoming traffic, so I'm able to pull out and go and get all the bikes past this piece of machinery that's going really slow. But sometimes if we're on a highway or something like that, getting out to the rural areas, or even in town sometimes, we've come across a very slow moving vehicle that we have to get around, but there's also a lot of traffic. So what I've got is I got the lead bike. He's going to pull out really close to the line. He's going to check to make sure no one else. Now this is critical. First of all, he's going to check and make sure that no one else, like a truck, way back behind all these bikes, there could be a truck or 2 vehicles that have been behind us for a while with this slow vehicle, this combine in front, and they could be planning to just take off and go, and they could be coming up, flying up like this. And if I turn around as the lead rider and just pay attention to what's in front, what could happen is I could start pulling out, and so could the other bikes, and we could cause an accident because they cream right into this truck that's coming at 150 kilometers an hour. So let's say we're going at 70 kilometers an hour, the combine's going at 30 kilometers an hour, and this truck's going 150. I have to pay attention to what's behind the whole group first. Then I've got to take a look at what's coming down the road. So now we've got a car that's coming down the road, I have to wait, okay? So that's the kind of stuff that I have to keep an eye out for. And so what I'm going to do is I'll be the lead rider. So here's the lead rider. The lead rider will have a look up the center line, have a look out back, and decide if all the bikes can go at once. I will not go until I think that all the bikes can make it. Okay, so what will happen is I'll get open front, the back looks good, and I'll take off. And what's going to happen here, if you notice, when we're traveling behind a very large machine, we always give, in this picture here, it doesn't look like it, but what I do is I give a lot of extra room from here, the back of him, to the front of me. I slow the group down a little bit so that we've got a good distance, so I can properly basically figure out how much room we all need to pass at once. So what will happen is I'll turn around and I'll signal and I'll go to pass. The bike on the outside, so we've got the outside bikes and we've got the inside bikes. Okay? The outside bike is the next bike to pass. Okay? So what happens is as I pull up, he's going to pull up like this, and he's going to look himself. He's going to check Every one of us has to do this when we're passing. He's going to check to make sure that I'm doing it safely and there's enough room between him and any oncoming vehicles. And he's also going to double check out back again before he takes off. He's going to double check that there's not a vehicle passing. If everything's clear, he's going to continue and follow me. And you can see what's going to happen here as we go. All the bikes are coming, and then I'll be passing, he'll be passing. The next bike's going to do the same thing. Now this happens very quickly when we're passing because we were all slowed down to about 30 before we could pass this vehicle. Now we're going up to 70 again, and all these bikes are still going 30. So whoever's here, which is now the new lead bike, has to make sure there's enough room for himself and the rest of the group, as well as keep an eye out for any vehicles that are flying up here at 150 kilometers an hour that are being reckless trying to pass a group of bikers who are trying to pass a big machine. Okay, so now I'll keep going, next one, and you can see what's happening here. And it's very important at this point of the passing lane. It's really important. Remember, the lead bike goes really close to the center line. These bikes stay about right here. These bikes stay in their standard formation slightly off the center line. The reason is if everybody turned around and went like this, what would happen is this bike that's about to pass, he cannot see all the way back there. There could be a vehicle that's coming up at 150 kilometers an hour like this and decides to pull out at the last minute while this guy pulls out. And if there's only 4 bikes left, he could literally cream into that bike. So it's really important that when we're passing heavy machinery, okay, that everyone stay over just a little bit to allow this guy here to be able to look behind him. And when we signal and we get back into formation, now this is really, really important. When we signal and we go back into formation, the lead bike is not going to hang close to that front. The lead bike is not going to hang close to the center line. I'm going to make sure that when I go back in, I actually move over a little bit, just like these bikes, so that this bike that's now passing can see past me and all the way up, because there's going to be bikes here that he may not be able to see. If you've got 14 bikes ahead of you, and you're the last 4 bikes, let's say we actually had 18 bikes, he's got to be able to see past all the motorbikes to be able to see if there's any traffic coming. And these bikes may block some of his vision. So that's really important. And he's got to be able to see all the way straight back. So just remember this when we're passing any type of passing whatsoever. This is kind of critical passing because it can be very dangerous, especially in a big group. Okay, so what we've done, I'm just going to go over this one more time really quick so you can see it. So what we've got is we've got ourselves a big combine. He's now seen the group coming up behind him. Okay, most people that drive those big machines are. He's going to pull over slightly, but only slightly, because he doesn't want to go into the shoulder. The lead bike is going to pull up like this, almost on the line, look through, check for no coming traffic, check behind for no passing traffic, and then he's going to give her, and he's going to go fast. The next bike is going to pull up fairly quickly. He's going to try to stay on the leader's tail. He's going to have a look too. Everyone's moving up, as you can see. The leader's now here. He's going to pass and go. This guy's going to go. And same thing. The leaders keep going. This guy here's now going to go, pass, go. This one's going to come up. He's going to have a look. Everyone's staying staggered and out of his way so he can see here and he can see here. If the leader's doing a really good job, myself, what will happen is there will be enough room for all the bikes to pass at once. But every now and then, further up the road, someone could pull out onto the road from a side road, and that can literally kind of screw everything up. So be aware that as you pass, your job, as you come up, your job is to check all the coming traffic and all of the traffic that might be trying to pass too. And as long as it's clear, then go. If it's not clear for you and the rest of the bikes, do not pass. That's really important. If you think you can make it, don't, but it's obvious the rest can't, don't go. Your job as the lead rider when you're passing, because whoever's here is now the new lead rider. These guys are already going, okay? They're in single file, so they're not classified as lead riders. The lead rider is in charge of the safety of the group. So if there's 4 bikes left and 12 have already gone and there's not enough room, you are now in charge of this group's safety. So make sure you check ahead, make sure you check behind, and make sure there's enough room for you and all of the bikes to get out and pass. And that's basically how we do it.